Hello, friends. Well, I'm beginning the journey of making this AI-generated 1960s color block wool coat. That should be pretty fun. Before we begin, I am making some modifications. I have changed the colors a little bit in the fabric choices I made. Not heavily, just a little less hot dog on a stick. And I've decided to actually cut the jacket off where the black color blocking ends. I don't need this extra orange bit at the bottom. So this is where I'm beginning. I am going to work smarter, not harder, and use a pattern that I already have. This jacket here, also from the same era, so that's fun. Obviously it needs, oh Lord, really? Girl, get him in now. So it does need some switches around, you know, we got to modify it a bit, but all in all, it's a good place to start. What am I going to do, you ask? First things first, I'm going to take this pattern, I'm going to block it out in paper, which means I'm basically just going to trace a whole new one. This way, I can modify this sleeve situation that's happening here and make it a normal sleeve versus like a jersey style sleeve, like a jersey t-shirt. And once I have that, then I can start patterning out all these different pieces. So here we go. To show you a quick example of what I've done, so I have my original pattern and now I have this new paper pattern. And you can see where I've very, very badly, but effectively drawn where the new shoulder back will be. But otherwise, I've traced it pretty identical. I do notice in the original sketch that the coat seems a little bit more column versus A-line. So I did take in some of this by kind of cutting that in a little bit. Now, you're going to ask why this just looks terrible, because it's a mock-up. So I'm going to cut it. Once I pattern all these out, I'm going to cut these out and sew them together and put them on a dress form, and I can adjust my pattern from there. And then I'll be drawing on all the style lines and then taking all of that and making my final patterns with all of the fit and all of the new shapes accounted for cleanly with seam allowance. A quick show and tell of what the paper mock-up looks like on me, because once I put it on my dress form, it'll kind of look a little more stiff because my dress form isn't exactly my shape. So so the dart on this side, and I made it two-sided because the patterning we'll do is different. So unfortunately, it's not a symmetrical design. Whatever, it'll be fun, she said. So the dart on this side, I gave enough seam allowance to be sewn. And as you can see, it's a little bit better. Don't mind that. That is just paper. That's because this is some kind of weird paper. This one I taped because this was the original drawing and I didn't leave seam allowance when I was playing with that dart. So ignore that. And the sleeve I think will be okay. It's a little big, but not terrible. But all in all, this is not bad. Okay, now for the fun part. Okay, so here we have it on the dress form. And all I'm going to do is draw on these style lines to the best of my ability. And I'm taking some liberties with the sleeves. I'm just going to pretend that the sleeves are symmetrical, but everything else I'll try to make as close to this as possible. We don't know what the back is, because this doesn't exist in reality. So I'm gonna make it up. Okay, I'm ready to show you where I'm at. This beautiful mess. But it's okay, because here's what's going to happen. I'm gonna take out all of the seams here. These were just base stitched, which means that it's stitched with a very long stitch. So it's super easy to pull out. And lay this all flat, put pattern paper over it and draft the pattern. And as I do that, I'll make sure all of the lines are clean and that they all match each other. And in a perfect world, what would happen from there is I would mock this up in a muslin fabric. But because this is a fun little video just for us, when I get the fabric, I'm just gonna go for it. I want to go over a couple things for those who are into sewing and understand some stuff. I don't like how close this shoulder is here. I think that could be a little bit longer. And as you see, my pattern was off. So what I'm going to do is move this line up to here. So it would actually meet and start to sew there. And then that amount will actually be added here. And that should reduce some of this issue that I'm getting here, which is nice. And another thing is I will need to draft a pattern for this being a pocket. And lastly, we need a collar. And of course, facing and lining. And that'll all happen in the patterning process. But I will see you soon with another installment of the very meta world of, did AI make it first or did humans make it first? Well, I don't know. Subscribe to my channel for more videos about how to make stuff.